In this video, we're going to quickly review some of the basics of rounding. Just a real quick, clean up a few misunderstandings some people may have. So in order to round a number, we're going to go through this kind of three-step process. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to identify which digit we're rounding to. For ease, I'm going to call this the rounding digit in our further descriptions of it. So first we find which digit we're rounding to. Then in step 2, we look only at the digit to the right of our rounding digit. We don't want to pay attention to the digit 2 digits to the right or 3 digits, only the digit immediately to the right of our rounding digit. If that digit is 4 or below, we're going to leave the rounding digit the same. If that digit's 5 or above, we're going to increase the rounding digit by 1. And then the last thing we're going to do to round off is we're going to change all the digits to the right of the rounding digit to zeros, and we're going to leave all the digits to the left of the rounding digit the same, except for, if we change the rounding digit by 1 in step 2. There's one exception to this kind of concept. When the rounding digit's a 9 and gets rounded up, the digit immediately to its left is going to increase by 1, and the rounding digit's going to become a 0. Because if we have, say 9, 7, so that we round the 9 up, there's no digit higher than 9, so we've got to push that up to a 0 and round the digit to the left of it up 1. Okay, a few quick examples. In these examples, we're going to round to the underlined digit, so it's easy for us to find our rounding digit. Our rounding digit in this first example is the underlined 7, so we only look at the digit immediately to its right, 3, that is below, that is a 4 or below, and so we're going to leave the rounding digit the same. Everything to the left stays the same, and everything to the right becomes 0, and so we round that off to 29,700. In part B, our underlined rounding digit is 2. We look at the digit immediately to its right. That's a 7. 7 is 5 or above, so we're going to round up. So everything to the left of the rounding digit stays the same. The 2 rounds up to a 3, and everything to the right of the rounding digit becomes a 0. And we would round that to 33,000. Now in part C, we look at the digit immediately to the right of the rounding digit. It's an 8. That means we want to round up. So we're rounding this 9 up. The 9 becomes a 0, and we have to increase the digit to the left by 1. That becomes 50, and everything to the right of the rounding digit becomes a 0, and so we're going to round that off to 50,000. All right. On this last page, we're going to round each to the specified digit. So first we identify the rounding digit, the tens digit. That's the 1 here. And so we want to look at the digit to its right. 8 is 5 or above, so we're going to round up. We leave everything to the left of the rounding digit the same. Round the 1 up to a 2, and everything to its right becomes a 0. So that would round to 47,920 if we round to the tens digit. If we round to the hundreds digit, we're looking at the 9 here as our rounding digit. We look at the digit immediately to its right. That's a 1. 1 is 4 or below, so it's going to round down. Everything to the left stays the same, and then everything to the right becomes zeros. The thousands digit, that digit right there. So we look at the digit immediately to its right. It's 5 or above, so we're going to be rounding up. Everything to the left of the rounding digit stays the same. The rounding digit gets adjusted up 1 in this case, and everything to the right of it becomes a 0. So that would round to 48,000. And then in the last example, the 10,000s digit, we're rounding this digit here. We look at the one immediately to its right. It's a 7. 7 is 5 or above. So we're going to round up. So the 4 becomes a 5. There are no digits to the left to keep the same. And everything to its right is going to become a 0. That's a quick little review of how we handle some basics of rounding.